Is that how you say it, Gillway or?
Gillway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Senator Raven, Representative Farnsworth, members of the Health and Human Services Committee. My name is James Gillway, and I'm proud to represent District 41, which includes Frankfort, Orland, Prospect, Searsport, Stockton Springs, and Verona Island. I am pleased to be here today as the sponsor of LD 1842, an act to amend the laws governing temporary assistance for needy family program. In the past few years, Maine has racked up over $13 million in federal penalties for our non-compliance in the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or TANF program. We face fines because only about 10% of 2 adult households receiving TANF are meeting the work requirement. The work requirement means that TANF recipients are required to work or participate in a work search or training program through the Aspire program. Our state's noncompliance is in large part due to the fact that Maine has built up an apparatus of exemptions to the work search requirement. There are even exemptions for other good cause, which basically is a catch-all exemption. All of these exemptions are creatures of state statute, above and beyond what the federal law allows for. The TANF program was created as part of the Comprehensive Federal Welfare Reform Bill signed into law by President Bill Clinton. It was designed to move people from welfare to work. The law encouraged states to adopt a 5-year cap on TANF benefits, and 43 of them ultimately did. Maine was one of only 7 states to make these temporary benefits limitless and without a lifetime cap. We finally changed that in 2011. This is another attempt to put Maine in line with federal exemptions and national norms when it comes to welfare. We can no longer afford to be an outlier in the welfare states. We rank 2nd in the nation for welfare spending as a share of overall state spending, and that is unsustainable. Even worse than the numbers and facts is the culture of dependency that we have created. I hear about this all the time when I speak with my friends, neighbors, and constituents. They are tired of working long hours, extra jobs, only to see their neighbors overuse the system. I see this and other welfare reform measures as a lifeline to the truly needy Mainers who are using the programs in good faith. Not only will reform free up for those who are truly needy the help, but it will begin to alleviate the frustration the taxpayers feel in our welfare system. If Mainers finally say enough to our welfare programs as a whole, that will hurt those who truly rely on them. That's why I encourage the committee to come together on a bipartisan basis to work to reform our welfare system. The taxpayers will thank you, Maine's truly needy will thank you, and we can take a significant step in breaking the cycle of intergenerational welfare dependency. The folks behind me who work in this area of expertise are here to talk about the nuances of this piece of legislation. I probably won't be very good at answering the technical questions about the state's administration of TANF. I am here to present a different view. I am the town manager of the town of Searsport. I have provided workplaces for several TANF recipients over the past 9 years. And I want to state that I welcome the help. As we all know, the revenues in our cities and towns are continuing to shrink, and this has happened over many years. Bringing on TANF workers or Aspire workers has really helped my organization. I want to encourage other towns and cities and nonprofit organizations to offer positions for these recipients. The people who have worked for me have been bright, eager, intelligent, and mostly young individuals. Most of the participants in our program have moved on to full-time employment in the area, and I have written many letters of recommendation. Thank you for your time, and with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can.
Thank you, Mr. Galloway. Question in the front.
I realize the term, I think someone said, I don't know what welfare means, so I'm going to ask you what your definition of welfare is.
And I apologize for having that in there. I would not have used it. It was a slip. I also don't use that. You know, I use TANF, Aspire, you know, general assistance. Those are the terms that I'm familiar with. Okay.
Thank you. Representative Cassidy.
Thank you, Representative. So this is the bill that specifically eliminates the Parents as Scholars program. Can you tell us exactly what that is about?
It's my understanding that in that program, we are providing additional exemptions beyond what the federal government already allows for. They allow for I believe, and I hope someone behind me will correct me, a 1-year exemption, and we have basically an unlimited exemption so that people can go to school.
That wasn't specific to know what, I mean, for people who don't know about Parents as Scholars, what exactly is it?
I think I'll defer that because, again, that's a bit above my pay grade.
Thanks, Madam Chair. So I'm just trying to get a couple of questions answered too.
Sure.
So you say that we rank second in the nation for welfare spending as a share of overall state spending. So maybe you could just, for work session, see what kind of data you can get on that. I don't really know how you're coming up with that data. And exactly what you have in that category. The other thing is interesting, because I also have the same question that I go to door and people say that they see people who aren't working and they think that they're TANF recipients. But I actually think that a lot of those people are actually on disability and getting SSI benefits. So that's what I sort of worry about. Sometimes we're thinking that this is a TANF program that people are complaining about. But I actually think what they're seeing is they're actually seeing people who are on disability, and they see that they're not working, so they assume that they're TANF recipients. So I don't know how to answer that question, but do you have a sense that it's actually the TANF recipients that they're complaining about?
Well, as Representative Farnsworth had asked me about my definition of welfare, I am pretty clear with my friends and my constituents about TANF and Aspire. I work with folks that are in the program, and most of the folks that I'm talking to are knowledgeable of it as well. So I think a lot of people know that there are people sitting at home collecting the benefit and not going out to work or not volunteering for positions. One of the folks that worked for me actually ended his participation in the program because he felt he wasn't getting enough money standing there doing work that someone was getting paid for. But the success to that story was he went right out and he got a job at a local garage. And I see him all the time. He shakes my hand. He's very happy for the opportunity we gave him. So when I do talk to people about it, they do understand that we are talking about, you know, families in the TANF program that are, we're going to get in trouble saying able-bodied or could work for us. We have a position for them.
Sorry. Are there any benefits for employers who want to employ TANF workers?
Oh, great benefits. In fact, I have someone waiting now to start as soon as we get out of this terrible winter. I have cemetery work to be done, and I have somebody lined up to do that. So our benefit truly is getting the job done. I have far less employees in my town today than I had 10 years ago, and it's just been the necessity to cut back and keep the tax base down. So I bring these folks in when I'm called by the caseworkers. I bring them in whenever I can and to do whatever job I can, and have a great success with it.
The question I had was, is there a financial benefit for employers who hire people who are TANF recipients?
We receive no money.
Okay.
No, we just the benefit of getting the job done, and that's what, you know, in the municipalities we're all about, get the job done.
I guess the other thing would be the Parents for Scholars issue, because I have several patients in our practice who have gone through this program and seems to be very successful. And I know that I copied a study that had been done by Margaret Shea Smith, policy people, who thought that it was very successful in getting people out of poverty. So maybe someone or whoever's going to talk could talk about why we would want to get rid of that program. Because I think what we're really trying to do is get people out of poverty.
Absolutely.
And that, for me, that program gets people out of poverty. So maybe someone has another spin on it they could bring to us.
Thank you. Senator Lehovich, please.
Thank you, Representative. Often Dr. Dorney anticipates. I've asked a little bit different question than you, but my question is about your statement that we rank second in the nation for welfare spending as a share of overall state spending, and that is unsustainable. And I'm wondering, kind of, what are you including in that statement about welfare spending?
I'll bring that
and you bring
tomorrow.
that to the
Yes.
discussion. Thank you.
Other questions, Representative Gadley? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.